Why are you recording this?
Because I want to question what it's like to be a starseed young person who's about to
See,
go to Egypt. This is big thing. So don't swear, Bevan, because like this is going out to the world, okay? People want to hear about how you feel about life because like, us old people, you know, you're the ones with all the answers because the glasses have gone on now. So look, you've got your wisdom energy on. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is it being a super sensitive starseed being in a young person's body?
fucking odd.
No, but you're not supposed to swear, Bevan.
Oh shit, sorry.
Oh no, you're not supposed to swear. Can I ask you
Like,
what is your true perception of life? Meaning, and I know I'm your mom, but this is like we're out the realms of that now, okay? Um, I'm the matriarch. But like in your life, what do you see the mission as? Get in, get a career, get money flowing and get secure, or is life for living and are you at peace with letting your life unfold and just trusting in the universe that you'll always be okay? Which side do you fall on in truth? Like in truth, which side do you fall on the most right now?
I think more on the side of the universe. To be honest, I've in the last year and a half I've been stressing so much that now I've actually given up.
You
You know,
surrendered, not given up, you surrendered. Big
yeah,
difference.
well, I've given up just stressing over it. So,
Okay.
if you have the mentality that everything will be okay, obviously within reason, doesn't mean you can go lie on the couch and go, well, do you know what? Everything will be okay. I'll make a million bucks somewhere along the line. You actually still have to go and
Do the
put
work.
things. And I think if you just sit back and just go, well, do you know what? I will be fine no matter what. I think that'll take a lot of anxiety away from yourself and a lot of stress.
So, do you think that that's why it's quite hard for people your age? Because you've literally got this brand new, I mean, young people nowadays are more in tune than we are as adults because we're too ingrained in our belief systems, which is a lot harder for us. Do you know what I mean? We were kind of like locked down in the concrete and we now bashing that away and now we're coming up for air. You guys were born in to this evolution of young people where you are the star seeds that can go on to a I don't know, TikTok or whatever, earn money overnight, and you just understand this gig because it was already in your makeup when you were born. However, you were born into a world that is still pushing the old agenda, so in a way it's a little bit purgatory for you guys because your system knows more than your system is so born into naturally geared to the manifestation and working with frequency and everything like that. However, there are old people, parental guidance, whatever, saying, no, you need to go to university. So it's kind of like a little bit what I call spiritual constipation or even hemorrhoids because you're basically wanting to go one way, but you're being pulled into another because of society. Do you think that that is a big problem?
No, I think the way that compared to how you guys grew up, compared to how I grew up, it was always you finish school, you go get an apprenticeship or you go study and then you work. And
Yeah,
that's what everyone did. Now the travel culture is big. It's like people will go do a 3, 4 year degree, finish at university, and then go do the yacht courses and go travel the world and earn big money working on the yachts.
yeah,
That's what people want to do. Young people want to do. It's like nowadays it's so easy and so accessible to travel around the world and work in different places. I mean, people finishing their degrees are going to do 6 months in Aspen for the ski season and work
yeah,
and see the world. People are finishing their degrees and or not even finishing the degrees, they're dropping out, whatever this case is.
exactly, exactly.
They the old thing of you go to university, you finish university and you get a job, or
Yeah,
you finish school and you go work as apprenticeship and you get something behind you.
yeah.
Whereas now, I mean, gap years, when we were speaking to dad the other day, and his mates, he said, geez, if I had to tell my dad I wanted to take a gap year, he'd, you know,
Don't swear, Bevan. I know you.
I know I was going to say, but he was, if dad had to ask his dad or anyone,
Yeah,
oh, I'm
this
doing
is
a gap
unheard
year,
of. It's
he'll say,
unheard
well,
of.
what is a gap year? What is that? What
Yeah,
is that?
yeah,
You know,
being blouse. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Go and work.
Or
Yeah.
dad, I want to go do my yacht courses because I want to go work on a yacht. Why the hell would you want to go work on a yacht? Like they
Mm.
would be like, "What? Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
You know, now that's
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
Now people, that's what people want to do. And,
Yeah.
you know, why wouldn't you do it? You're earning huge money to go on a boat to travel the world, or you're earning huge money to go work at a ski resort in the middle of Colorado to earn big money, um, to then go travel afterwards.
Yeah.
And you spend 6 months in a different country, you know?
Like when I was your age, I you were in my belly and I was married. You know what I mean? And it was just like, like there we go, and I still managed to find my passion, my purpose, and I lived a completely different life in a very, very opposing social environment because like you say, it wasn't welcome then. You know what I mean? I've been blessed to be able to have the freedom to be able to be an exercise specialist and then be a healer and then do all of the things, all of the things. And now at 48 years old, I still don't know what I actually want to do because, like, I'm kind of here because I'm a creator. I'm working with the frequency and the energy, and I'm forever changing. As long as I'm always creating, that's always a given, right? That must never change.
Yeah.
So you were born into that. You were born into that. Well, actually, no, you were born into my shadow phase when I was in a real hot mess. Soz, babe. But your sister was born into it when I was a shining light, whatever. But now we talk about you. So imagine if you had children now, okay? Let's hope not, because I'm not ready for to be a grandmother. But like when you do have children, what will you be guiding them with? What will be your pearls of wisdom when they're about to leave school, like your sister's about to? What will you be encouraging them to do?
Travel,
Travel.
travel.
And give me one word as to why they should travel. One word.
The
That's two words.
what you see. No, I don't know. I mean, you can't describe in one
Freedom.
word. I mean,
Freedom.
I wouldn't say freedom. It's like they will live their life up to 18 seeing the world through their phone because obviously they got school, but they will see
Yeah.
their world through the phone.
Yeah.
Go and see it with your own eyes
Yeah.
because you'll discover a lot and learn a lot. And it's so easy nowadays to, especially I think, for women to look at someone on Instagram, go look at her figure, look how she looks. That's what I want to look like. That's what I need to look like. And it's like you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
And the social media is the biggest lie
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
You don't know just because, oh, if I post 6 photos, look at me, I'm so happy. Look where I am, I'm traveling. It
Meanwhile, you're
doesn't
dying
reflect.
inside.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm severely depressed. And
I'm an alcoholic and I'm snorting cocaine in the toilet
yeah,
just to numb my
you don't
pains.
know. You
Oh, was
don't
that
know.
me in my younger years? Did I speak
Exactly.
out? So I was,
It's it's the biggest lie, and it puts ideas in younger people's heads that this is what a good looking human, this is what my body should be like. This is how I need to look like.
and
This
plugs
is
you from your
how,
power, doesn't it? Because
yeah.
your innate power, your inner authority gets given away because you're
But
looking
it's so
okay.
again, it's one of the most human characteristics is to compare.
Yeah, even without social
Yeah.
media. Yeah.
Yeah, even without social media. Now you add that gasoline to the flame, which
Yeah.
is social media.
Yeah.
And
Having a strong sense of self, which is quite difficult when you're young because you're developing, but having a strong sense of self and then engaging in social media can give you the power of discernment where you can say, yep, no, yep, no, yep, no, which is a bit of a pendulum swing because as we are older, I feel that we can, not always, we can do that. But when you're growing up and you're now a skinny little 12-year-old and you're now watching this guy who's basically roided up and is in the gym and you're like, I need to be like that. You are now stepping away from your inner authority because you're a young being in the development. It's quite dodgy, isn't it? You could swing either
Mhm.
way. You know what I mean? And yeah, so it's like it's is it a help or a hindrance? But like you say, even without social media, there's always going to be that
Yeah,
out there.
yeah,
It doesn't matter whether it's the cool girl at
without social
school or the
media,
cool
you can,
boy or in
yeah.
the office, like that guy that's just always hitting his sales or whatever. I suppose it's but we have to tap into our inner authority
Well, you
because
could walk down the street and see someone with a good figure and go,
yeah, I need
I
to
want
be
to
like
be
that.
that.
Yeah,
But I think just with social media, instead of just seeing one or two oaks walk down the street, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of so-called people who are doing really well.
yeah, yeah,
Not saying
exactly.
they're not doing really well, but if you really dug into the truth, there's a lot of people who put a lot of things out there to make, look how happy, look at where I am, look what I'm doing, so successful. You
Yeah.
don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
They could be really depressed and they could be really not happy and they really will want someone to reach out or whatever it is. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that's everyone, but
Yeah.
I definitely believe that there's that is a thing in social media where, people just do it to hide what they're really
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah, exactly. You are about to come to Egypt with your mom, okay? And we're going to do other videos on this, talking about young people and transformation and transformational travel. As you've already said, mom, I roll. I'm not going to sit in meditation all the time and do your hippy dippy woo woo stuff. But you are. But no, I mean you are, but not really. Whatever. Take your child to work day, but whatever. Um, how do you feel? Do you feel this could be a brand new opening portal for young people in the future that where they'll find benefit in doing transformational tours instead of just going to Tulum and popping five mollies? Do you know what I mean? Do you think that the value is going to change for the young person, or do you think like what, or are the two worlds going to merge? Are we going to be in Egypt popping mollies? Like, what are we doing? Are you excited? Are you thinking about the transformational process that you're like, wow, when I come out of that, I could be a different person? Or are you just excited to see the pyramids? Or
No,
both?
I mean I've never been to Egypt, it's pyramids. I've never seen the pyramids, so I'm excited to see what Egypt is. I don't really have any expectations. Um, I just want to go see it.
Okay.
And I feel like if you have high expectations of something, you there's a big chance you get let down.
Okay.
It's,
Or not. If you're manifesting.
but it depends how high your expectations are of this. I'm talking about in any kind of experience. So that's why when I want to go, like when I'm going somewhere, I'm not going to have a high expectation because
Be
you'll
neutral.
get you could be let down and
Yeah.
then it ruins the whole thing. So
Okay.
whatever's going to happen with me on this trip is going to happen regardless.
Will you do a video diary as you go for young people?
I really don't like the camera, but I'll give it a go.
I can tell. Where, whose child are you? I flipping love the camera. I could do this for
I know.
days. You're
She's
so different to your sister. I did a video blog with her and she was just like, she was all over this. She was messing around with my microphone, the whole lot. You know what I mean? It's like, you need to take your hoodie down, son, and just kind of like shine that light. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a man thing. Maybe the masculine's
well,
hiding. You's hiding, huh?
no, I think yeah, I'm not built for the camera.
This is so not you, Bevan, off the camera. You're an absolute clown. But anyway, it's fine. Huh?
Yeah. Um, I'll try my best to vlog, but can't promise anything.
Help the young people, Bevan. Help the young people. And even when you're going through purges of transformation, I'll hold your hair back and we will basically video that as well and go, transformation right here. Hey? And then you can
Yeah.
explode into into the horizon as a Care Bear. What do you reckon? No.
No,
Okay.
no.
All right. So people, we might not be doing a video, but whatever. Let's see. So like, yeah. So I mean, it's always interesting hearing from the young starseeds perspective. And we'll do more of this and we'll talk more about this because young people struggle a lot with this, There's too many suicides in young people. There's too much mental health issues in young people, and they're just star seeds that don't know what the fuck's going on. That's all it is, because you guys are more evolved than our age. So the more we can put out there to help people relate and understand, like your loss of purpose, 2 years, you were in the deep, dark depths of it. And it's okay. Like people used to brush it under the carpet and go, oh no, we can't talk about a depression, can't talk about this. But like you owned it. You were like, this is how I'm feeling. And you went through a dark time because you couldn't find your purpose, and coming to Egypt is part of that. So, it's okay to talk about these things. And I think it's important, Bevan. And
No,
thank you for
I think
sharing all this because people can relate.
not enough people are talking.
Not enough people are talking. You're absolutely
So,
right.
I mean,
Like this, they're not talking like this.
no, I mean, obviously you would know. I mean, that it was a dark time, and that they never had depression, obviously before, and you didn't even know it was depression. You're like, I'll just feel a bit low in energy today.
Flat. Yeah.
Then you wake up the next day and it's the same, and then the next day, and then all of a sudden it's been a month or two, and you haven't really felt a light inside of you for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, you're like, I can't even get off the couch because what's the point?
Yeah.
And then you fall into this deep dark spiral. And then, if you don't talk about it, like I don't normally talk about it. But over the years I've had to
Yeah.
because I couldn't
Can't
sit
avoid
with
it.
those thoughts anymore. I couldn't
Yeah.
lock myself in the room and just like stare at the ceiling all night
Yeah.
because, I think it's a bigger problem in males than it is females
Yeah. I agree.
because males typically struggle to open up, especially a male to male.
Yeah.
Me and my friends, we don't really talk about what's going
You
on in our
banter, you
lives.
joke, you mess
Yeah, we
around.
banter and we joke, and when we get together, it's a lot of laughs and
Yeah.
beers, and we have a
Yeah.
good time, and
So
we
what do you
don't.
think? What do you think from that dark night of the soul that you were going through, which actually all of us were going through our own version of that, but I want to talk about young people. What would you say was the turning point that you remember the most of what flicked the switch to go in a different direction? What was it?
So, definitely also opening up, but obviously, starting with talking to you, to dad, and a couple of my mates eventually, probably further down the line than it should have been.
Yeah.
Um,
So basically having a support base, being able to open up to say, "Hey, I'm not okay," which is my
yeah,
tagline to you
yeah.
guys all the time, isn't it? Because I'm such a sensitive. I'm not okay. That's our inner family joke because I'm a lot of the time I'm not okay. But then doing the inner work, like going to
Yeah,
that place where
that
you really
only
don't
that
want to
only
go to.
comes that only comes once you internally accept like this is something I need to talk about, which is the
Yeah.
hardest step. The work
Yeah.
isn't actually the hardest step. The work's
Yeah,
the
that's
easy
the
part.
easy part, isn't it? That is actually the easy
Yeah.
part. It is the easy part, and it's just like, like microdosing mushrooms was a very, very, very powerful and is a very powerful assistive. It's the difference between being suicidal and actually being able to create some kind of like stability. And people get microdosing so twisted and so wrong. It's not being off your face or anything like that. It's a plant medicine, which is very, very powerful in reprogramming how the brain thinks. And when you take a microdose, it's so mild, isn't it? You don't feel anything. You just feel held and supported. Better than some chemicals that the doctor's going to give to you. You know what I mean? So I mean, I just think that like this day and age, these plant medicines, and psilocybin. It's actually also like the medicinal mushrooms, like reishi and all of those kind of things. Like the reishi mushrooms and the lion's mane and all that. Plants. We've got to get back to the plants, the most natural things. You young people sucking on vapes, you've now stopped smoking your vape, right? So all of these little things of chemical drops into the being, into the bloodstream, into whatever, all of a sudden you start, even in food, go back to gut cleansing, go back to like basic vegetables and broths, reset your system. If you need something to support you, put the vape away, work with microdosing mushrooms from a very powerful practitioner who will have them. So on and so forth, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Going back to the natural way, which is basically to hold you in that space until you can find your inner foundation again. And then because I think that, and we've spoken about this, I think that the biggest thing here is I believe that our journeys here on this planet is to actually understand and know how to be fully in our bodies, safe in our bodies without assistives, addictions, vapes, even using microdosing ongoing throughout your life. Eventually, you need to come off that and know that you have the strength to do this on your own because you are powerful. I mean, like, that's the truth of it. It's only because the mind is telling you otherwise. Do we really need any of it? Not really. But real terms, if you're sat there thinking, I'm going to actually jump off the planet, I'm done, you know, in the difference of bring in the plant medicine, bring in the microdosing to support you. Because only yesterday, there was a young girl who is your sister's age, 17 years old, committed suicide because she could not find her way out. Makes my heart very sore, but there's a lot of moving parts to that as well. There's obviously soul contracts and everything involved. Too many young people popping off the planet,
Yeah.
right? So this is why I wanted to have a conversation with you today, and I want to have more conversations about this because even though you guys are like, yeah, you know what's up because you are more evolved than us because you kind of like everything's still open. Sometimes because of that, it's harder. And I think
Yeah.
more people need to step out beyond and go, oh, look at this guy talking. Oh, look at this guy who's in Egypt. Oh, that's Bevan Marie's son. Do you know what I mean? You know, and for us to talk as a family dynamic, because in this family, we have a very, very open family. We weren't always like this, were we? Your dad was always on his own mission, never spoke about his emotions. I was always too emotional. You know, you and I were really close. Or you know, there was a split in the family or whatever. And over time, as we've all done our inner work, we've come into this beautiful vortex where you have a good relationship with your father, you have a good relationship with me, you have a great relationship with your sister, and it's out, and it never used to be like that. And that is as a result of us all individually doing our own inner work to be able to be part of the collective, even if it's a family dynamic, isn't it? How important is that? Because when you have children of your own, this dynamic is just going to naturally flow into your own family, right?
Well, unfortunately, I mean, we are very blessed to have the family we have. I'm very blessed to have parents I have, but unfortunately, not everyone
Has that.
has that kind of royalty.
Yeah.
And I think that's when speaking out to anyone who will listen, which is a lot of people go, well, no one, no, who am I going to speak to? Because no one's going to listen. It's a lie. Anybody would listen, you
Yeah.
know. You just need to make that step, which is the hardest part. I
Yeah.
mean, even to my best mate to try and tell him that, listen, I've had these thoughts, you know, and I don't know what to do with them, and I've been struggling for 4 or 5 months because again, it's like social media. I'm a very when I everyone knows me as a joker, as a clown, as
Yeah.
a just someone who messes around and jokes around and has a laugh. And as soon as I go quiet, then there's a problem because that's how loud I normally am. For
So
me to be like that for 4 or 5 months and for him to turn around and go, "You're joking? Are you serious? How, wow,
you're not that guy.
would
Yeah.
never have known you to be struggling this much." And
Yeah.
that is the case. The amount of people who go, you know, excuse my language, but shit, fuck, is he seriously?
Can swear.
I remember that guy as like,
Yeah.
you know, the happiest guy in the world.
And
It's not
those are the
always
ones
the
that do pop off the planet where everybody's
well,
shocked because they're like, well, I saw
those
him
those are
yesterday. He
the
was fine. Yeah.
most dangerous ones because they
Yeah.
hide behind this thing. They want to break up, but they, it's so hard to make that initial step. But
And
a
you
lot of
and you
people
and
don't
I are very
realize.
similar in that because I haven't spoken too much in depth about it, like, you know, and I don't mind to because I only use it now as a teaching tool when I have to refer to my drug life, which you were born into, actually. I was just cleaning up when you were kind of like being born, you know, you were on the cusp. And you know, and it was just to like kind of like dampen down my pain. And then eventually when I did get clean and everything like that, it was the deep dives into depression, you know, manic depression, you know, so much so that my hair fell out, but I was always like joking and messing around, life and soul of the party. And there was many times that I was just like, I can't do this. I've 3 nervous breakdowns in my life. I think I had the one, you kids were born, and that was when I was 30 years old, was my third one. But prior to that, it was 17 and 19 or 20 years old. And it's no joke. It's no joke. And it's like that internal pain. You can't reach out to anyone. And like there's two swings to this pendulum, right? Because like right now we're going, yeah, transformation is amazing. This is the year for transformation. But you know what? Transformation is tough. Okay. If you are got a lot more stuff to do, it can either bury you under the ground or it can either purge you to the surface like a little worm. Do you know what I mean? And you just or a flower or a shoot or whatever, something, you know, growing new. So you can go either way. And I think that if we can actually reach out to those that are feeling like they're being buried even more so because it's just a perception, it's like they no man left behind. And I think that, like, you know, people watch on social media, here we go again, watch Marie's YouTube channel. I'm always like a bundle of joy all the time. You know, Bevan, I've been in here and I have broken into a million pieces often. How many times have you had to put me back together again? Because I'm like this face and these bubbles, and I will always be like that because that's my energy, that's my vibe. I'm all about hope. I'm like, do you know what, we can do this, let's get together. And I always like a fucking good joke, because if we can't laugh, then what can we do?
Yeah.
However, that is like a blessing and a curse for us, because we're the ones that do get buried deep down in the earth, even though on the surface I'm going, everything's fine, but it's not fine, you know what I mean? And I think that there is a fear of vulnerability, saying, do you know what, today I'm not okay. And like you, when my face is down here, people freak out because they're just like, whoa, what's going on? You know? So I think that, like, you know, it's good to talk about these things, that it's actually okay that you get buried, that all you have to do is actually first step, reach out and speak to somebody, because there will be always somebody there for you. There will,
Yeah.
you know? So, you know, because it's like I say, with this young person passing the other day, it really does bring it home that, like, you know, life is very, very short, but we're here for transformation. Transformation is a good thing, and we want to go up, not down, right? So, you know, you're on one end of the scale, I'm the other end of the scale. Like, I'm 48, you're kind of 22, you know? And it's like, you know, we need to shine our shiz as much as possible to make people believe, because that's the thing. It's a belief system, isn't it? It's a belief
Mm.
system, you know? So changing the mind that we can do this, we can
Yeah.
turn lemons into lemonade every single step of the way, but we can't do it on our own, can we?
No,
Because you did it
can't.
on your own for a long time, as did your sister, because she is also a powerful little star seed. And she went through her very, very dark times of wanting to leave the planet when she was 14. You know, we've all been there. I've been there lots. But how did we step out of that? We reached out. We got to
Yeah.
reach out, you know? And I believe that is my purpose, to help people step out, know their power so they can be self-sufficient. I believe that is the purpose of this family, because everybody's always at our house, because it's like, that's what we emanate. Because you know what? When shit's going down, we've always got jokes and banter, haven't we? And we're not using the jokes and banter to bury. We're using the jokes and banter just because the shit's funny. And if you don't laugh, what are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I mean, I think but it's not to go and rescue, is it? It's just to be able to share your story. And hopefully somebody watches this and goes, oh my God, okay. Well, that puts a
Yeah.
different take on it. Do you know what I
Can't
mean?
walk, can't make them walk the journey, but you can definitely hold their hand while they walk.
Exactly. Oh, made me have a little heart pop there. And we're talking about this. So what's your message on this full moon today to young people, older people? Because you have wisdom, no matter how young you are. What would be your pearl of wisdom that you could give today? Especially being like, maybe it's something to do with letting go of something, or instead of letting go, let's focus on something more positive, of just like where we're going. You know what I mean? It's like excitement for the future. What is it that you would like to share?
Every day is not guaranteed. Live the way you want to live. Smile, joke, laugh. Do do that thing that you want to do, that you say to yourself you can't do. And it's never too late to make the first step, or it's never too late to take the first jump, no matter
Yeah,
how old you are.
yeah. And that's what you've always told me in my multiple meltdowns in trying to put my tablets of light tour out. And I have to tell you guys, this guy, can you believe? He's like my rock. And when I'm sat there and snot's running down my lip, I'm going, I can't do it anymore, Bevan. He sits back in his armchair, steps out of his own shit, and is like, listen, Mom, you're always here doing this and you always come out on top. You are safe. You know what you're doing. This is a process. You're not supposed to get there by the end of the day at 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? This is a slow stroll and something to be enjoyed, not something to be endured and hill sprinted upon. This is what you always tell me. And you're such a wise, wise soul, and blessings that I have a son like you. But it's taken some work for us to get here, so don't get it twisted. But,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, it's like there is wisdom in each and every one of us, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. There's wisdom in each and every one of us. He props me up. He's my son. You know, I prop him up. He's my child. You know what I mean? But I mean, whatever. It's like, this is what we must do for each other, right? You know, we're here for the journey, not the end destination, right? And there's always help at the end of a fuck, get me out of here. Huh?
But we weren't allowed to swear.
Oh, yeah. SARS. Well, it's my podcast, so I do what the fuck I want. YouTube's
Sure.
probably going to shut me down now, or Instagram, or whatever. There's worse people than me. I tell you. Do you know what I mean? But you know what they say? The most honest people say fuck a lot. So there you go. There you
Yeah.
have it. I've said it 4 times now. It's enough now. It's enough now. Do you want to say it one more time before we go?
No, I will say this is the last time you'll see me in front of a camera, I reckon.
No, Bevan, it's the beginning of the videos, hey? So yeah, like and subscribe. This guy, like, let's like bring Bevan back on the camera. Let's turn it into a series. This is Bevan's coming out of the cave. Next time he'll have his hoodie off, okay? Yes?
You didn't really debrief me that we were doing this. You
No, I
just
didn't. I just blindsided you. You know what I mean?
no.
Because that's what I
Oh,
do, you know? Now go and clean your bedroom. Anyway, from Marie and Bevan, thank you for watching. And we'll be tuning in for the second podcast with Marie and Bevan, probably from Egypt, whether he likes it or not. But yeah, thanks, son. It's been an absolute pleasure.
thank you
Okay.
for this.
Now he's actually in the next room. So I'm going to go and say hi to him through like in real term now. Okay. Incoming, Bevan. Lots of love. Peace.